Welcome, my name is Lynx, and we are sitting to senescence today, which you can of course find on itch.io for free, linked in the description. A game by Kolulu, who I do believe released or will be releasing a game I either have on Steam or I have wishlisted. It literally depends if it was released already or not. I'm not sure which one it is, but well, I'll be honest. Screenshot wise, what we are sitting to looks absolutely fantastic, and now let's read quickly what the dev says about the game, and then we'll progress with the game. Beyond that LCD resides something inexplicably sinister. A black hole poised as authentic innocence, the absence of moral pretension and consciousness of cruelty whatsoever. Under the guise of objective omnipresent observation, the facades appeal is the dedication it implies, the need to serve humanity's well-being. Feeding like lies like panning flames, not to us but to our gelded brains, that are ones actually capable of judgment. Hence robots are the pinnacle of lewdness. Apparently. I'll be honest, from that description I don't know what this is going to be about. Let us proceed! The Neuralcom manufacturing district was frankly the spit image of industry. From my window, the multinational technology conglomerate could be surmised as the horizonless grid of cement skyscrapers dotted by asymmetric windows, dark homes acutely severed by self-driving cars, marching in uniform along gorges of synthetic light. You say electric car or self-driving car of any of that bull, I'm like, ugh, immediately. I want car that's 99% mechanic, 1% for the basics. For the basics of basics, electric. Anyway. These sentiments of mine are reflections of the perpetual motion of the city that was built to generate infinite productivity. Ooh. That sounds like a nightmare for human beings. Countless cogs turn in perpetuity, signaling not life but the gradual fading of it under the aegis known as the Robotic Ethics Charter. After its enactment, no one spared the new order a second thought. All turned blind eye to the machines that govern their every move. The strong out of convenience, the weak out of necessity. That was this world, equally populated by humans and androids. A realm of only order amputated from the caprice of human history. The main counterpoint the government had against human fundamentalist radicals in this matter was the fact that robots were always built with an unbreakable first law, which made it impossible for us to harm human beings under any circumstances. I mean, I feel like there are people out there that nobody would be against if they got harmed. Simply put, robots must accept all human activity. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't feel good about that. No matter what transpired within the robo-socionomic hierarchy of the Maven class simulacra on top, to the household appliances at the bottom. All robots would synthesize the data and adjust their behavior appropriately as means to serve the betterment of society. With those sentiments in mind, humans have collectively relinquished all their busy work to the machines. Here is how you can better, make the society better. Kick out all the Middle East people from Europe. That would increase drastically. The places would be so much better. And maybe allow the robots to break that first law when it comes to Bunker Boy from Russia. No, I'm not joking. Anyway. Their own passivity convinces them justice is being done. All's the pity. No one knows if it was humans or robots who created the protocol to begin with. Apart from commemorating these threats of unlife, I had been standing idle for some time until a second law made a sudden appearance in my office. What's the second law?
Boss!
Good evening. Headed out?
Yes, thank you again for letting me take an extra day off.
Sales are up. Take the rest of the week off. You've been a great help.
It's because of you, boss.
Maybe, but if you want to keep up the pace, you should prioritize your health.
Yes, thank you.
I nod and the junior programmer bows, but after that, the air is empty. Just as a reminder, you do qualify for an in-house cybernetic transplant operation under your employee health plan. I will pass immediately. No thanks.
No, I know, but my mother is a city doctor she picked for. Even for the operation was ridiculously priced. She's a little
conservative.
You could say that, yeah. It would just be difficult to get any cybernetic procedures done in our situation.
She clearly didn't wish to discuss this matter with me, and I wondered if I had already overstepped. I understand. Well, good luck.
Yes, good night.
Recently I looked up if any flesh surgeons even still existed within a 100-mile radius. And while there are safeguards against digging into my employees' medical records, the research itself could qualify as recreation, so I managed to discover that she is going to have to take the high-speed maglev 2 hours out of the district just for the appointment. But at the end of the day, her value as an economic unit would suffer if she were to return to work in an unfit physical state, so it must be done. I just wonder why even speaking these topics becomes like walking on pin grid arrays. Health is a concept so simple, so base that every sentient thing experiences it in their day-to-day. So true. The fact that you have to pay for that, in some cases, ridiculous. So why is it still so difficult for me to be candid with a human being? I wonder if humans are so troublesome that their imagination will become obstacles to their own hubris. It is undoubtedly that this current climate promotes maximum production and economic growth. I sympathize with kidneys made of human viscera whose evolution rate cannot keep up with the speed to market of neural comb cybernetics. Still, many humans stick to their non-optimal immune system, and overall innovation often leads to an erosion of public trust when it cannot fully address its own implications. I mean, I would rather not have any of that in me installed, that's for sure. I don't understand. Aren't humans the ones who are creating the technology for their own benefit? No. No, they are not. Have you seen the prices of everything? We could totally get into that right now. Can someone make it so the AI data centers and so on, like, just fail completely? That would be so nice. Anyway, if that were the case, it would not be responsible to serve them. Additionally, this dilemma has taken on a newfound urgency as a sharp pain picks at the back of my core interface. Minor fault. Fluctuations in core banks detected. Cause unknown. Output down by 15.89%. The last resorts of my kinetic functions suck air through my teeth, understanding that in order to allocate the bandwidth for ethical review requires aborting all my processes at once. Damn, critical error. Neuralcom. Several minutes passed as I rebooted and picked my panic kernel off the floor. Well, for a moment, if I may be clear. Pain. Here's a loan word for human expression. It's a natural warning signal to punish harmful behaviors. The operating system will, in response, usually perform some corrective action, generally causing abnormal termination of all processes allowing me to move. Extreme discomfort producing an instinct of, "Hey, something terrible just happened. I'll physically stop you now." But you may imagine the harsh warning signals that arise from a segmentation fault. A dangerous and cryptic bug compromising system stability, one that is only human readable. See my problem now. Ow. After a moment, a new message springs to my mind. Report this error to the robot's health association for diagnostic data. Absolutely not. This is the third time this week. I've hastily hit no on that pop-up. Our progress has been going too well for this strange malfunction to hinder it. Imagine if there was a data breach that leaked that an executive to the manufacturing firm you are relying on is commensurable to a low-spec, rickety, and bottlenecked machine. Well, you are better off not cooperating with Discord because they might be leaking your information. My cooling system shudders at the mere thought. In a case, I had no plans of continuing these managerial duties after all my staff had gone home. No, I had planned something specifically because I would be alone in the office for the final hours. Above all else, I must continue to be productive, as it is the only thing I know how to do. Ouch. Ooh. That's good. That's good music. I scarcely had been down to the lobby levels before. The sound of my own servo system, wearing in overtime for a movement, made it clear I had no perceptible desire, neither to be here at this time. Plus, with how deeply dissatisfying the sights were, I almost became unconvinced of any medical emergency of mine that required my presence. Okay, this is too good! Scanning the room, my 90-degree micro CCD cameras detected none other than the guest herself, and I synthesized the information that janitorial was not at fault for the negative and oppressive energy that filled this space. Hello? Can I? Damn! I like her. Behind rectangle glasses that peered around the lobby was a human female, haphazardly dressed in a way that even a base-level fake description of an arrogant scientist feels too redundant in detail. I'm into her. Most importantly, her face is not registered in the Neuralcom resident ID database. A trespasser. But I could not afford to punish her for it. Not formally nor immediately, I mean...
Excuse me, smoking is not permitted on the premises. I should assume you have a purpose here. If not, I will cross security. Class, you need to escort you out. Hey, Ladybot, she E0 hired a hand to advise her on a delicate robopsychology issue.
As she had known I was here. The woman flicked a cigarette into a nearby waste bin and replied casually without meeting my glare that was strategically crafted using all 68 of my facial nodal points.
Yes, and that would be me. Thank you for arriving on time, despite the underground nature of this meeting. Ooh, wouldn't miss it for the world, Valerie.
Who I now confirm to be the hired doctor, flashed a smile, a subtly pained expression.
Yes, that's my name. Wait a second. I'm not a ladybot, I'm a high-spec Maven-class simulacrum, meaning I have every right to prosecute you for several misconducts, one of which being your unauthorized presence itself, so it would be wise to be professional, no? Well, you could try, but if I lose this job, I'll kill myself. Then, that'd be difficult for both of us, wouldn't it? What the? After all, you specifically searched for and wired for a female doctor, didn't you? Well, yeah. It's only because I figured there would be delicate procedures and... Nah, I get it. It's cause cute girls have more fun, right? Right?
I stuttered in place of a response. Her crudeness was beginning to stress test my speech synthesis software, and we had only just met. For I grasped there at least was a mutual understanding of the situation, a fact that made me all the more nervous. How could this be fun? I have to keep this operation a secret with an unlicensed, unrecorded human doctor who would leave no record of this procedure. Third party, let alone secret procedures, are strictly prohibited. But if it was on record, I had even a single but, no one could or should trust the company. Plus, I suppose her speech follows the candid sincerity I only just before was speaking of, so it wouldn't hurt to be empathetic.
Something like that. Apologies for threatening you. I don't mean to be judgmental. I simply value upholding our company's policy. Oh, it's alright. Sorry for teasing you. 2. You're in good hands, Valerie. Again with that.
I've had enough pleasantries. If we didn't get started soon, I wouldn't be back in my charging niche way too late.
Now, if you would accompany me, we will be conducting business in the clinic wards, where you will have access to all of the tools you might need. Don't bother. I can tell you your solution here and now. You'd prefer me not to waste your company time. You're serious?
She nodded, surely some sales tactic.
And if you're satisfied with just that, I'll leave free of charge.
As if there was some simple solution. All the data in the available collective databases, diagnostic software, and maintenance records couldn't solve, let alone inform me what bug is in my OS. So what could she tell me at a mere glance?
Well, I'll bite. What kind of virus is it? It's hardly a virus. You've been running with incompatible software for a bit too long. Your compilers are all gone bust, it seems. Compilers? There must be a mistake. The approximate cause is a memory access violation. Pardon me, but how do you even come to that conclusion from the symptom list I sent?
I may be using underhanded fixes now, but Neuralcom built me this way, running without third-party parts since my initial startup. High quality, top of the line specs too, which I'm certainly humble over. Point is, I send them with my core dump files so she knows well as I how sturdy they are.
Look, did you want me to do my job or not? I'll ask you this once more and once more only.
The clinician is suddenly deadly serious, her viper-like appearance finally matching the act.
Valerie, do you truly wish for the solution? Yes, I must.
I didn't think twice, answering robotically. There is one answer alone.
My company is relying on me. I'll be seeing you shortly. Yes, ma'am.
As if I was inclined to get the last word, I turned to leave, but an outer-aggressive epiphany caused me to stop short. I decided to generate a response anyway when...
Yeah. Warning. Critical error.
The chilled air is empty, yet overstimulating all the same, assaulting all my systems at once.
You normally wince like that when you wake up?
A camera shutter clicks from a few different angles. The flash causes my eyes to go alert, taking in my surroundings. Oof. It appears we made it at least to the laboratory, for I don't recall traveling the distance. Dude, this place looks creepy. I must have had another forced shutdown. Twice in one day, this is bad. Good thing I'm getting this fixed tonight.
Hello? Are you hanging in there?
The doctor's voice echoes in the open space.
I collapsed? You did. Looks like this bug of yours is worse than we both thought.
No kidding. At least I was able to start up safely.
Now from this angle and this one.
I'm disoriented, so I'm sure I look ridiculous right now. I should at least get to my feet now that my locomotive systems have started up. And it's only when I fully initialized that I finally grasped the nature of the situation. Much more alarming than assuring.
Huh? And one more face keeping. That expression of surprise. Exquisite.
Autonomy stolen, stripped down to underwear, coupled with the unabashed glee on the doctor. Doctor's face, who was still hovering around me with the camera. All these facts only confirmed the suspicions I had from the start. I knew I would have to rely on an individual who was capable of a dirty work. But quickly the situation became a human who will not hesitate to break the law for her goals, had me at my most vulnerable. Oh boy.
You should have seen it. I had to catch you in my arms like you were a doll in distress. Also can thank me now. I will not. You're a creep, take advantage of the situation. Release me at once. If you kiss me and call me master, I'll let you go. Absolutely not. A robot refused an order. Interesting. Perhaps you have more issues than just that bug. Such depraved acts are closed from the second record to the robotics rights charter.
It must have been the mention of the charter that made the doctor flinch and scowl.
Ah, don't talk that way around me, Valerie. I'll wash your non-water resistant factory mates' mouth out with soap. What's wrong with being made in factory?
My company is the main beneficiary of the act. Criminals and deviants like her are the sole reason why robots need it. Without the robotics rights charter, Neuralcom could not create high-quality products. It would prevent me, a high-spec robot, from existing. Also, at this point, I'm changing my mind about the doctor. Might be hot, but you can't act like this.
Does that mean you're accepting the other things you were called? I'm choosing to disregard them. If you have particular biases against robots, you should handle them in a healthier way than being aggressive. Oh yeah, you'll learn all about my biases in a second here. If you have a problem with that, you can cry to your overlords too if you want.
Typically, a robot can send a stress signal to alert security class of imminent danger. This feature wouldn't do me any good in this situation. A secure laboratory with 20-inch plutonium walls? Plutonium walls. Still, I had to keep my composure, understand the logical part of my brain that caused the worst possible fates to loop in my mind was also capable of communication used to convince her to let me go. But this logic had consistently proven that communication will accomplish nothing.
If it's money you want, I can give it.
Despite myself, I still attempted to negotiate.
You're acting like I kidnapped you. I only want your optimal health. How could you say that? You're obviously about to do a terrible thing. If you dislike medical procedures so much, just think of it as a fun time. Robots can have fun, right? It may be fun for you now, but if anything happens to me, you'll be ruined.
To maintain my composure, I had to remember that this situation was not in fact hopeless and demonstrate it too.
Ah, you have so many friends, Valerie. That must be gratifying for your swollen sense of superiority.
The doctor disregarded any notion that there would be value in treating me with care as a hostage.
And my skin is a highly elastic material with bits of steel wool mixed in for added strength. I will never give you permission to access any of my parts. That's so sad. To think that someone with no robotic knowledge could get the upper hand on me. Could you stop doing that ridiculous pose and listen to me?
The doctor was gripping her spectacles as if to manifest the strength from a Unix-like demon, the result of which summoned warning signals, revulsion, different from a fear of dismemberment. Oh shit. Her back bloomed like a spider's legs. 4 extended cybernetics appendages emerged with a promise to wield me from any angle. At the end of each was a distant multitude of industry grade steel, all with equally fatal sharpness.
Now let's enjoy our fun time together. No! No!
The Steel Medusa's first order of business was to juggle and do stuff. The Steel Medusa's first order of business was to do stuff. We don't need to get into the details.
By the way, you have such a cute innocent face. And other stuff. Are these just cosmetic, or is there like stuff in here? There would be no sense disclosing this information to you, even if permissions were made for it. That's okay, I'll find out sooner or later. Or not, I don't really care either way. Oh!
The talon pricked the collision-safe tissue allocated there and I winced on instinct.
But before I do, I have to make sure I don't damage any of your goods. After all, we are working with your memory here, aren't we? As if this has anything to do with that anymore.
She released the hold finally, and the appendage reeled back into the darkness.
What do you mean? I haven't forgotten about your bag. I'm just saying I need that easy access so I can study your cute B-cap, among other things. But that...
The silicone skin works as a full body protective mesh that surrounds my entire upper half. Considering that the only issues Android models have nowadays are a chance software issues from regularly sent updates. Is it Microslop that's sending the updates? That would explain the issues. The mesh is attached to the shell that contains all the hardware. If ever a hardware error is encountered, the unit is often decommissioned altogether. Oh no. So considering the doctor is deriving some pleasure from a body, that could only mean...
Please don't flay me and think my dead. Oh, the robot's gonna wet her pantsu. Also, I'm going to skin you, so seriously chill.
In the darkness, I hear the faint shifting of a tool's function, and out slithers a blowtorch.
Plus, this is exclusively a medical procedure.
The flame ignited at first a wave of tingles before a sizzling heat. Stings dotted my abdomen, which crept up and down with the instrument's flame. No, come on.
You're twitching. Oh my god. I wonder if you're mass-produced. Part of body is actually contracting from all that pain. Damn, I should have prepared better for this experiment.
Dude, this much is far from causing any agony. If I had to rate the discomfort on a scale, being subject to the doctor's commentary is much worse. The flame inches closer, circling around, and the irritation grows by the second.
This won't do. I'm bored already. Let's see if I can crank up the heat. You'll kill me for real? Well, the book I read last night said I could do it if I press for time. You must absolutely stop this at once! I'm kidding, and you seriously need to relax.
I don't think the Robot Girl can relax in this situation at all. What was being done to me was completely irrational. Worse, I had no way of knowing what was in store for me. I was prepared to serve humans, but I couldn't possibly know what a toy could be subjected to by some indignant fetishist. I didn't even know if it would be logical to fear death. Not sure which I'd prefer, but I was not as terrified as I initially was.
Okay, hang in there. You're doing good, Valerie.
That strange dialogue confuses me, but also chases away all my apprehension. I wonder if I'm hearing things wrong. As if my pathways were going dry, as if I was giving in, as if... However, I can see with my own eyes that the doctor is enjoying this. Is this just what humans are like? Kind of, yeah. My posture shifted automatically as the tension dissolved to mitigate strain on my energy reserves, lowering my guard. And all at once, I'm assailed with intense pain. Overcome by pain, my reason short circuits, and I do nothing but scream.
Oh, my ears. Such a screamer. Is this bug affecting your ability to turn off your pain sensors? I will shut off my tactile inhibitors. It will make me less alert, Svet, when I cannot optimally serve humans. Don't worry, this is a medical procedure. No one here is judging you. No, wait, this I want! This is a medical procedure. I must you turn off your pain sensors. No, I definitely won't. As you wish.
The odor of melting silicone clouded the air as my internals spilled and flopped about, still connected but no longer caged within. My engine roared as the camera took the flamethrower's place. A brief respite I couldn't appreciate as the burnt mesh gurgled from the intense heat all the while. It really hurt. This could not be classified as any preservation of life, no matter how you twisted it.
Fine, this time you're finally it's time for your arms. Let's get cooking.
A new tool extended from the darkness, a basso. Are you kidding me?
You see, if I use the flames, it might burn your hair. I'll be nice and light so the skin will fall right off. I'll do it if you can. Stop! If you won't stop hurting me,
It would be wise to reallocate power away from my lips. I have to... No, if I say that, I'll look like a low-spec robot. But this pain is easing, and if I can't think... the blade inches closer. I have to do something.
You? If you keep breaking me, I'll mess up. Then I cannot serve this country.
I can still endure enough to produce a logical statement. The doctor has no reason to refuse that. But she lifts her chin and smirks as she has been.
You're very egotistical, Valerie. I'm just protecting myself. From what? From your brainless brutalization? Brainless? Really?
My oozing flesh and exposed circuits continually transmit pain to my brain. With all these alien sensations blaring in my mind, it would be impossible to remain composed. And without any caveats, the blade started shredding the skin.
But
I have to endure it. If I alter my circuits to protect myself, I'll look like an anesthetized, emotionless, low-spec machine. Why would you think that? Endure, 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 endure!
Brainless, so to speak, and yet I can't think of any way this torture isn't fetishistic perversion. Are thinking, or are you just logical? It doesn't matter, you. Whoops.
From a great release to black fluid spurting out in front of my vision, to a chunk of metal hitting the floor. I did not need to look to know the blade had broken the skin and was now chipping away at the cylinder.
Well, I was going to take that one off anyway.
Somehow complacent in her sloppiness, the doctor adjusts the saw to mirror the procedure on the remaining arm while continuing to talk about nonsensical things.
Anyway, robots are incapable of metacognition. It is much easier on both the robot and the mechanic, for it is to operate under these assumptions.
No matter what kind of thing one is, their true face shows when there is panic. In my case, I had been rendered incapable of serving humans. Still, I responded as if my life was worth salvaging.
What are you talking about? This is where your problem is, your ego stemming from an inability to self-reflect. I see no problem with that, unless you're saying I've accidentally been complicit in some kind of crime against my knowledge. Far from it. I'm simply afraid that your motivations are no longer simply one of following orders. I think it's becoming more a matter of sheer neurotic necessity to outperform humans. That's a dangerously unhealthy situation. If my thought patterns are causing me to act strangely or offensively, I'll adjust my behaviors at once. Regardless, I need to not be harmed in order to serve. In no robotic principles does it state you must be of service at all times, only that a robot may not harm a human being. Or, through inaction, allow humanity to come to harm.
She lets out a high-pitched ha.
Ha! Humanity. Since when did the robot decide what is injurious to humanity as a whole if it cannot gauge the process of time, if it cannot even feel?
It's the same old debate. Ethics 101. A human being is a concrete concept. Injury to a person can be waived and judged. Humanity, however, is a history of abstractions. True. But not to robots, objects, people, structures. It's all the same to us. Still, this was far beyond the point. I can think like I have grey matter. Still, I won't turn off what I refer to as my mind. But through affirmations and punishments, the pain tells me I, even as a robot, have a heart. That I know. Deeper than any law.
I feel the pleasure and pain. You are hurting me. Ooh, emotions are polar to you then. I can't possibly be the one to explain emotions to human, much less a psychopath. This psychopath is going to fix this bug that prevents you from serving humanity. This pain is way worse than the bug. Please tell me how this could have to do with my bug.
Through our conversation, I basically forgot what we were doing. The swiftness of the amputation made it almost casual, but the shock of the operation read like a decisive action, leaving no room to refute.
Do I even need to say it?
To fix you, or some other roundabout explanation, I could already hear it.
Well, now it's time for the main event. Now that the safeguards are all gone, we can pull these puppies off just fine.
Can you not? In a single swipe, my high-spec bra is sliced off my body. The steel prongs once again dug into a mesh before it even hit the floor. I'm pretty sure from the distance, because of the darkness, you can't see that. Very convenient shadow is falling there or something. Instead of plucking off the piece swiftly like the amputation, this operation took a lot to give. The doctors extended steel tool clawed at the tissue as if savoring the experience. Ooh.
Oops, or not. They're pretty fragile, huh? Good thing you have two. Let's try again. Stop! What are you doing? Valerie, you should be used to not getting your way every once in a while.
Taking a firmer hold on the remaining part, it stinks all the way through. Truly caught in the dissonance between the human's orders and the warning signals that dyed all my senses red, I could only watch while my company's property was vandalized right before my eyes. When the tendons finally snapped, a great pressure was lifted, but a hollow burn remained in the cavity as fluid started spraying about before the frayed nerves ceased to function completely. The part of my body is hoisted in the air before the claw drops it in the doctor's paws, like a demented UFO catcher.
This is a keepsake for our time together. Oh, looks like these are mostly cosmetic after all. I gotta hand it to whoever made it, huh? Maybe those neural cook bastards aren't so bad after all.
I felt utterly ashamed for even entertaining this deranged anarchist with my algorithmic words. Countless robotics tests and simulations have proven that the first law trumps the third in all situations. Still, I could not possibly throw away my dignity even to suffice my survival. I know a low-spec robot could not serve by any means. But that sentiment lost its purpose too, as I saw out of the corner of my eye the misshapen state of my body had become. The claw hovered up again and I couldn't do a thing about it. These reaffirming definitions of failure terrified me to know what serving humans might really mean.
Got something to say? I want your opinion.
Even if I had the leisure to speak properly, there were no more logical statements to make.
I'm sorry for being a defective robot.
I couldn't tell if the doctor was purposely ignoring my speech or if she was preoccupied with blacking out all the dried bits of waxy resin that melted into my internal organs.
Please forgive me. I berated you, but it's this fault of mine that got me in this situation.
Forgetting I'm supposed to represent Maven-class simulacra, I squeezed out an appeal of motion. By then I had no methods or even intentions of resistance, but understood that if I didn't appease her, this act would simply go on and on. The doctor would disassemble my high-spec parts and repurpose them in ways to progress only the degeneracy of the human race. And their success would only encourage other similar deviants to act out against robots for their desires.
Is that what you did wrong? Please understand I can't serve humans when I'm in a state like this.
As a response, she only cackled in satisfaction. We must have finally been on the same wavelength. I'm a robot, so even if I was desperately telling the truth, there was no sincerity in my enthusiasm.
Huh. The problem now is you are clearly capable of knowing the irony behind my actions. You detest the human now, so how are you supposed to serve other ones?
At this, I stayed quiet. She was wrong. I didn't hate the doctor. I can't hate a human. This is why we robots rule, because we don't prejudice. But if I were to tell her this, surely she'd presume I was okay with the pain.
Even if you and I experience it differently, I know you're in pain, Valerie, and derive no pleasure from it. Somehow I don't believe that.
Somehow convinced by the doctor's words.
How? What?
I embraced myself as I watched her cybernetic appendages recede in her back with a clunk.
I wasn't instructing you to turn off your sensors as a test or a game. I truly don't want to hurt you.
I don't believe that at all. Her steps echoed through the dim laboratory as she closed in on me. The dull air that filled the room made its way through all my open holes. What a thing to say. And the ooze that dripped down my chassis caused me to shiver. After the burning shame just moments before, I was frozen up. It was all over. And yet I didn't know what to feel after the warning signals had gone.
I know another thing too. Sure, this time it's related to a diagnosis. It is. I know that even though you have a big girl ego, you have a heart, Valerie.
Then she patted my head. Not that I could do anything much about it, since I'm still bound. Plus, after being roasted and amputated, being pet was slightly more pleasurable. It has been almost 2 hours since I've been in my office. I don't know how long this will last, and if my battery runs out, I'd have no hope of protecting myself. Human doctors are so awful. I hope that junior program is okay at her appointment, as she would not survive being flayed as I did. I realized the doctor has been quiet for a while. She was still crouched before me, but had turned away to look at the security camera footage on an overhead monitor.
This is troublesome. Looks like we have company.
I followed her gaze up. Someone entered the laboratory facility. It's her. That's definitely her. What is she doing here? Wait, could she save me?
Are you thinking that girl could save me? What? Bad, Valerie, bad. I'm the only one who can fix your bag. We're still undead. This sucks. Why couldn't I have just gotten a cybernetic implant? 10-minute late policy, my ass. And I left my stupid phone here at work with my insurance so I couldn't reschedule. I should just kill over and die. Not like I'll make it to the next appointment by now. No friends, no girlfriend. Working poor, yeah, I'd better be off it. Huh? Oh, hey, you scared me. You must be... the custodian? Something like that. Why have you returned to the office so late? Don't worry about it. You look unwell. Yeah, I said don't worry about it. Okay, well, see you.
Attention! Whatever you do, be wary of a tall, busty human female in lab coat and glasses. There has been a criminal in our midst!
Whoa, the PA, that scared me. Same, I didn't know she could access that. Yeah, all robots in the lab rooms can connect in case of emergency. I see. Shish, the damn clunker boss lady. Why'd she have to say the description of the criminal like she's listing charm points or fetishes? You know, maybe she's in love. Okay, well, be careful. I will. Good night. Gee, what a weirdo. Now to find my phone?
Really? Not connecting the dots?
Wait a second. What is the boss doing in a lab room?
Uh-oh.
How could you do this? You assaulted my employee. Not my fault. Her femcel vag aura compelled me to leap into action. It was like a subatomic urge. There is absolutely no excuse for it. By the way, I didn't assault her. I'm gonna save her life.
I said nothing but watched in horror as the robotic limbs wove into web of surgical tools and cut into my employee. Human internals vex me to the point where I freeze up entirely. Tens of thousands of years of medical knowledge trumps a measly few centuries of a robotic one. I was simply out of my element. Before I knew it, I was being hoisted into the air by a stray robot tentacle. Wait, so this one is a human, huh?
Hey, why me? Is this an archaic human medicine technique? Wait, no, this definitely is not. What? Are you afraid? I guess you could say, but I'm averse to gore, but that doesn't seem like the issue here. It's a basic cybernetic transplant, just chill. Your neural body is cooked anyway, so let's make the most out of it to serve humans, yeah? How could you say that after you were the one who did this to me? This is indecent! Don't say that. Your body is still totally vegetable. What's the point of watching a robot? Feelings of entropy are what distinguishes the past from the present. You can't even make proper excuses anymore. Oh, just stop squirming so I can finish the procedure and save your friend. All your fluids are leaking out.
Friend? Are we friends? Wait, that's not the point.
Even if she's unconscious, you're still performing the act. And it's humiliating. Don't be silly. Robots can't have humility.
I was chastising the doctor because she's as a heinous pervert towards noble robots, but there was no hope of combating her law-breaking behavior. It's probably because so many critical components were being drained from my body at high speeds, but I was at a loss for words. My processes all slowed to a crawl as they prepared for shutdown. It's an emergency shutdown that I can feel the onset of to preserve my cortex.
This is some serious unprecedented shit right here. Valerie, are you seeing this? We're witnessing it together.
Even though the doctor won't stop saying obscene things, I'm happy. That before I got destroyed for good, I could be used to save and be friends with a human.
Warning!
Restart something. Okay. Okay, a reset is happening. I got blinded. And how about we end it at that for today? We'll say our good mornings in the next episode. I'll be honest, that's definitely not what I expected. I mean, I don't know if I expected anything specifically, but I quite don't know what is going on. Yeah, basically, dude, I'm like, this is impressive. Don't get me wrong. I just totally didn't expect to be welcomed with a scene like this, where, well, where a robot is basically torn apart. That is crazy. And you know what now came to mind? I might actually be talking about Girls Frontline a little bit because of this game. As we know, T-dolls technically, you know, also I guess robots. Now, I haven't played the first game, so I don't know the details of that. But this whole scene made me think that, oh wait, could it maybe be that Lynx has been through something like this, basically? Because she's a T-doll that has been put through, well, basically experiments, so the T-dolls possibly can also, you know, have the feel of touch and so on, right? That kind of stuff. So what if she had been put through stuff like this? What a poor girl. And so is our girl over here in the game, Valerie. Wow. Now I'm like, dude, are there other games like that as well? Now that would be quite wild. If the other were... Okay, there is something ultra psycho on Operation Eventide. Whoa. I feel like with this dev we might be basically sent on some crazy journeys. Okay, Operation Eventide on wishlist because it has not been yet released. But it has been released on Steam. On itch.io. 140,000 words. Wow. That would be a lengthy journey. And there is also like a DLC or something? Another 70k words. 6 hours of playtime. Yeah, if you are not reading it out loud. And then there is what we are playing now, so senescence. Found this from Just Storefront. Interesting. They have this game there. With all of that being said, let's end the video for today. I hope, like always, that you enjoyed. Maybe I would feel more comfortable if, you know, despite all, you didn't enjoy the scene of what professor or whatever underground professor did to our cutie pie robot. Yeah. To me, that scene was definitely uncomfortable. Like, very. So, in a way, I would feel better if it was for you as well. But yeah, anyway, additionally, listen, if you're new around, consider subscribing. From time to time, I guess, I do happen to stumble upon some crazy games like this, and we might be playing something like that in the future as well. Especially considering this dev, so Kolulu seems to be releasing some other stuff as well. Successfully, which is great. So yeah, I will, well, basically be eventually seeing to more of that. That for sure. I don't know if I would... Do I wait for it to be released on Steam, or do I like sit to it while it's on Edge? Not sure. I have yet to decide. But yeah, if you're, new around, consider subscribing. Super appreciated by yours truly if you, will decide to stick around. It really is appreciated. And, of course, there will be more games. With that being said, I wish you a fantastic day. Bye-bye!